Hi, everyone. It's the time of year, probably we could have done this a little bit earlier, but I wanted to talk about bugs and pests. And when we don't use pesticides and we don't use things, then we have bugs on our food, in our homes, wherever. But there are ways to repel them as opposed to killing them. So I'd rather not have dead bugs all over my house. I'd rather repel them and have them go somewhere else, stay outside, whatever that is. So we're going to talk today about bugs and what you can do with your essential oils to help keep the bugs out of your space. So just a second, pulling up some notes that I have also that I want to talk about. So most of us know that citronella is really good at repelling bugs. I grew up with citronella candles and citronella, all sorts of things. And so most people know citronella is really good, but we have way more than just citronella. And what I want you to know is that whatever you have on hand, you probably have something that will help. And just really quickly, I want to read this. Lemon eucalyptus. This got a lot of, can you see that there? This got a lot of attention a few years back as other conventional companies started putting lemon eucalyptus in their bug repellents, like body spray repellents. I think Off or somebody else did. They had a more natural form of bug repellent and it contained lemon eucalyptus. So this was all the rage for a while there. Well, we have it. It's still amazing. So citronella, yes, deters pests. Also has some other really cool benefits, but lemon eucalyptus also deters pests. Gosh, these both have some really cool things, but I had notes somewhere that, oh, here it is, lemon eucalyptus and citronella both have emotional benefits to protect us from things that annoy or bug us. So diffusing in your home as well, not just for physical bugs, but also for things that might get on your nerves that bug you. So it has some emotional benefits too, which is really cool. And that's what I wanted to talk about with that really quickly. Okay. So let me share my screen, get into this. I just have a few slides to share, but we'll talk a little bit more than that. So quit bugging me. I thought that was cute. Okay, bug repelling. We know we have TerraShield. We have TerraShield. We love TerraShield. If you know anything about TerraShield, it's in a fractionated coconut oil base already, so it's really good for putting on the skin. Comes in the spray or the bottle. Both are the same formulation. There are all of the oils contained in there. Did you know it had that many different oils in that blend? What do we have? 12 different oils in that blend. And for good reason. They all have different reasons why they're really good and the specific things that they're really good for, repelling, but put them all in that combination there. Of course, you see lemon eucalyptus and citronella, also lemongrass, also peppermint is one that I really love. Cedarwood, super good, arbor vitae. So anyway, what happens is, and this is kind of essential oils 101, but what happens is whatever that aromatic compound, because that's what we're using when we use the essential oils. There are lots of parts of a plant. We're using the aromatic compound. Excuse me, whatever it does for the plant, it also does for us. So let's say the lemon eucalyptus plant gives off an aromatic compound. It produces an aroma that repels certain pests. It's going to also do the same thing for us. So it's a very cool thing. Same thing with all of those. Sometimes they give off an aroma that helps protect it from fungus. I mean, there's so many different cool things, but specifically we're going to talk about pests today. So lots of great things there. Now, you could use TerraShield in your garden. However, it might also repel some pollinators that you want in your garden. So just take note that if you're not getting the pollinators you need, or if it looks like your plants are not thriving, maybe that combination is too extensive for your plants and you might want to back off and just do one or two things. Oh, okay. I thought I left my other notes. somewhere else. So I have it right here. Okay. I have some recipes that are specific to the garden. Anyway, I'll share those in a second. But if you don't have Terra Shield, or if that's not your thing, ironically, by the way, Terra Shield is actually really good for calming dogs down. I don't know why. You just never know what these oils are going to do. They're so complex. But you can use that spray on you. I just don't like spraying it on my stuff. Like when I go camping, I don't want to spray it on my sleeping bag. I don't want to spray it on because it's got that coconut oil in it. It's going to put oil on stuff. I don't like spraying it on my clothes necessarily. I spray it on my arms, rub it in, on my legs, rub it in, on my face if I want to. But my arms seem to be a target for mosquitoes this year. I don't know. I don't even see them. And all of a sudden I'm like, I have mosquito bites. So Terra Shield's fantastic. It's good to have. If you wear it and go swimming, then reapply 1 to 2 hours after swimming or sweating. Obviously, those things are going to help rub it away. So there you go. You can do your own bug spray. If you don't have all of these oils, use what you have, but ideally use all 4. And then this says you can top with a carrier oil of choice. This is, again, they're talking about for on your skin. If you want to use this same bug spray, but for stuff like spraying your clothing and everything, and even your skin, you could put it in a different base. You could put it in witch hazel. You could put it in vodka, like a grain alcohol. You have a couple of options there. You could put it just in water. If you put it in water, you have to constantly be shaking it just because they don't mix really well with the water, but that's okay. You can just shake it up. I feel like that's habit anyway, is to shake it up before I use it. Pantry bugs. I thought while we're on the topic, why not talk about them coming in the pantry or in wherever? So when you are cleaning your pantry, especially if you're dealing with something like ants or something, wipe down your shelves with a mix of white vinegar and a few drops of essential oil. It's that simple. Here are some ideas of oils you can use: citronella, tea tree, eucalyptus, peppermint. You could use any of the oils that we mentioned before, especially if you're looking for something specific. There are different references that tell you which oils are best for what specific thing you're dealing with. So in my house, we use a lot of peppermint. In fact, I have it going right here. My office is in the basement and I have a little bubble diffuser here. I don't want spiders in here, and peppermint's especially good at repelling spiders. I have 2, well, they were teenagers. Now they're both in their 20s. But anyway, my boys, 2 of my boys, especially once they became teenagers, oils no longer worked, right? Magically, they stopped working. No, Mom, those don't work. But if they saw a spider, Mom, where's the peppermint? Mom, can I have the peppermint? They'd set up a diffuser in their room, the peppermint. So it's fantastic. You can also take the same concept and put vinegar and peppermint, or alcohol and peppermint, or witch hazel and peppermint in a spray bottle and spray your windowsills, your baseboards, anywhere that they might come in to help repel them. So there you go. My sister uses, I grabbed this out. My sister in Texas uses Purify. See if I can show you that. Purify is a great blend of oils. It's the cleansing blend. It's really great at getting rid of strong smells, but it's also really great at repelling pests. And I'll tell you why. It has lemon, Siberian fir, citronella, there you go, lime, tea tree, and cilantro. Apparently, certain pests do not like really strong smells. So if you're a gardener and you know about companion gardening, probably you know more than I do, but we're learning as we go. The basil next to my tomatoes can be really helpful because the basil is really strong and it will repel things that don't love that strong smell, and they'll stay away from my tomatoes, right? So it's the same concept. That's the aroma of basil that it's giving off. Here's another recipe for a bug spray. And here, hold up. The image I downloaded showed right below each of these bottles what it specifically was good for, and yet that didn't come through. Hold on, let me pull it up and see if I can find that. That's interesting. I said lemongrass was especially good at repelling mosquitoes, lavender for ticks, peppermint for ants, tea tree for mosquitoes, rosemary for fleas, and patchouli for gnats. And again, there are going to be multiple oils that help with all of these things. I don't know why. That's literally the image I downloaded, but it didn't come through. So just take note if you're getting rid of any of those things. I also have I bought these little info cards on like cleaning with essential oils. I think I got this from youroiltools.com, maybe. Hold on. Let me see where I know there was a recipe. It has like different recipes for cleaning, but then I thought it had one specific. Oh, here, which oil should I use? And it says for disinfecting, it has a list. It says for grease cutting, and it has a list. It says for insects, peppermint for ants and spiders, cedarwood for moths, melaleuca for lice. Of course, I didn't think of that one in this presentation. And eucalyptus for dust mites. I also know that years ago we learned that cedarwood was good for bed bugs when that was released. Some of these are just in my memory. I'm trying to think what else. Okay, let me look. I also bought this big old sheet from the same place. I'm fairly certain this is from Your Oil Tools, but any of the oil stores, you got Oil Life, Aroma Tools, Your Oil Tools, Got Oil Supplies, like so many options online. But these are especially good. Oh, natural gardening and pest control for your gardens. So it says like bye-bye aphids, 15 drops of aroma touch and 1 drop of mild dish soap in 32 ounces of water. You can spritz it on there and get rid of aphids. Also, fun fact, if you buy a bunch of ladybugs, you can dump those on your plants and they'll eat up the aphids. Powdery mildew on your plants, and it has 15 drops of tea tree, 15 drops of basil, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 drop of mild dish soap, 32 ounces of water. Spray that, mix it well and spray it on there. Spider mites, 20 drops of rosemary with 1
Hey,
drop.
can you give that one for the powdery mildew again?
Yes, the powdery mildew was 15 drops tea tree, 15 drops basil, and then 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 drop of mild dish soap in 32 ounces of water. So in like a 32-ounce spray bottle, that's what I would do. You can buy those at Walmart or wherever, and then just shake it up. It says mix well and spray.
And just a quick tip for everyone. When it says mild dish soap, use mild dish soap. Do not use Abode dish soap because I killed most of my plants. So
sometimes you
that
do too much. So don't do too much.
Yeah, and the fact that it's the Abode. I didn't know that people use the Abode dish soap to help with like killing their grass too. So you live and you learn.
That's a fun fact. So you can mix up stuff to kill weeds. I'm going to mix some up here in a minute, and I'm going to use the Abode dish soap and some vinegar and spray down some weeds, and it will kill them. It's so fast. So it will also kill pretty much any plants. So there you go. Yes, definitely know what you're doing. When it says mild dish soap, you could use a little bit of Castile soap. I feel like the point of the dish soap is it helps it kind of cling to the plants. So you just kind of want that sticky cling. This one I liked. It said, just stop bugs. I don't know. When you don't know what bugs they are, you just want to stop them. This is 10 drops each of these 4 oils: peppermint, arbor vitae, pink pepper, and rosemary. Then a drop of mild dish soap, and this one is in 64 ounces of water. So if you don't have a 64-ounce sprayer, you're going to cut that in half and just do 5 drops of each of the peppermint, arbor vitae, pink pepper, and rosemary. Drop of mild dish soap, shake it up in water, and spritz it on. So another quick tip is if you're not wanting to use any essential oils, you can also do mild dish soap and water. I learned this many years ago, and spritz your plants in your garden to keep bugs off. Just kind of creates that barrier with that dish soap that then just washes off, but it keeps the bugs off of your fruit and veggies. So some fun ideas there. And then while we were talking about all of this, I thought I might as well share a bug bite relief, because this happens, right? We get bug bites despite all the things that we do. Sometimes we might not have it on our hands with us, or we might just run outside for a second and the mosquitoes descend and we get mosquito bites anyway. And they have been ferocious this year. I don't know why the itching has been so bad, but for me, it has been. So this is a really cool bug bite relief recipe. 5 drops of lavender, 5 drops of peppermint, 5 drops of purify, and 5 drops of basil. This is in a small roller. So this is a very strong, pretty strong recipe. Top it off with coconut oil or whatever your favorite oil, carrier oil is, and use that on any bug bites. It's
Okay,
fantastic.
so what was it was lavender, peppermint, basil, and what else?
Purify.
Purify, yeah.
And I'd like to note while we're here, super interesting that oftentimes the oils we will use to repel are the same oils we use if we get bites or stings. So
Interesting. I have to say that if I can add another story, I
please.
have a grandson who is allergic to lavender, interestingly enough.
Mhm.
And so Roman chamomile is another one. Melaleuca is another one. And then for his brother who isn't, he got a bee sting. I don't know. They don't know if it was a bee sting or not. And he's just 2. And but he had a major hole, looked like a huge needle went down, and he was already screaming, and it was so red. And I put Serenity. I grabbed Serenity. And then I found Purify, but Serenity has Roman chamomile in it, has, all these calming ones. And so that was one I just grabbed and put on him. And within a few minutes, he totally stopped crying, and the swelling didn't get worse, which normally it does. But thank you for this idea.
Okay, I like that. So that's a very good point. One of the oils that I always carry with me is Immortelle, because sometimes I just have to grab whatever I have on hand, like you did, right? Like whatever you have. And please don't be afraid to do that, because sometimes it works, and we don't have to necessarily know why or what compound specifically helped. It just works and calms it down. So that's fantastic. Yeah, of course, you've got some Roman chamomile, and what else is in there? Ylang ylang in that Serenity.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
fantastic. Cedarwood, I think, some really great oils in there. And so just because we call it Serenity and we oftentimes use it for calming does not mean it's not going to work fantastically like you had for something on the skin, that maybe a bite or whatever happened.
Yeah.
Along those lines, I just was pulling up while you were talking. Let me share my screen really quickly. Because I don't know, I forget that people don't know all the stuff in my head. So I'm trying to do better about sharing these things when I think of them. So this is the doTERRA chemistry wheel. If you don't know where it is on the site, just Google doTERRA chemistry wheel. That's all I did. And this comes up. And the reason why is, and you can print this out if you want, but I just refer to it. I can get to it on my phone or my computer. Right here, it says download doTERRA chemistry wheel. We're just going to click that. And here it is. So what this does is it tells you, let's see, where was the one you said? Lavender. Can't use lavender. Well, here are some of the other oils you can use that share some of the calming benefits of lavender, right? They tell you specifically what overlaps the linalool acetate, whatever it is. So you've got lots of options. The Roman chamomile right there, it is a big star. Of course, especially with children. If you guys don't know this, Roman chamomile almost always calms things down with children. So there you go. Comes in a little bottle. I think the price went up. It was very hard to get a hold of. In fact, I think there might have been 2, maybe 3 years we couldn't get Roman chamomile. So I'm willing to pay a little bit more to have that on hand, because I have littles around me. But this is fantastic when you're looking at the recipes that I have just shared and you're like, I don't have eucalyptus, right? Or I don't have whatever it was. I just looked at eucalyptus. So there we go. What do I have? Like maybe you got cardamom as a product of the month, or you got rosemary. Oh, I've got rosemary. Okay, I'll sub that. You can substitute other oils always. God gave us so many plants, and there's going to be another oil. Look at this. This is 4 pages of chemistry wheel. Like, what other things can I substitute when I don't have a specific oil? And you see these oils pop up. Okay, bergamot is right here under uplifting, but we also saw bergamot. Where was it? Right here under calming. So it's a great substitute for lavender, but bergamot is also a great substitute for other things, right? Maybe for grapefruit or tangerine or whatever else, pink pepper. 4 pages of great ideas for substituting. And that's exactly why they came out with this, because people sometimes get a little bit stressed. Maybe you don't have every single oil doTERRA carries, and that's okay, because look, there are so many oils that do so many things. And instead of sitting and listing every single oil that can do that, we give you an idea and then we refer you here to find which oil you do have on hand for that specific need. And then this just explains a little bit of the science behind it. So you can print this out and have it on hand if you want. I just refer to it whenever I need it. And I try to share this. I try to remember to share, but there you go. Anyway, so many great things there, but that's why we tell you, you can really use what you have. Use what you've got. Don't feel like you can't make any of these or something in here because you don't have something. I had a recipe years ago that I shared with people in a little spray bottle. It was water and citronella, and it was for spraying on the skin or whatever as a repellent. I mean, just, you don't have to overcomplicate it. Just keep it simple. If that's what you've got, do what you've got. If you don't have a spray bottle, put it in, put a drop or 2 in your hand, as long as it's one that is, you can use neat on the skin. That's a gentle oil, then just rub it right on. If you need to put it in an oil or a lotion, that was the other thing I stumbled on. I thought I had an image I didn't share. Anyway, if you've got the doTERRA lotion or you make your own lotion, a lot of people do that. You can put these oils in a lotion to then also use. So lots of options there for how to use these things, and you get to decide how you want to use them. But there you go. And if you don't want to DIY anything, just buy the TerraShield. You're all set. So, okay, thank you for joining us. If you need any of those recipes, I mean, this is recorded, so you can rewind and re-listen. But if you need any of those, just reach out to one of us and we'll get those to you. But okay, have a great day.
That's a great call. Thanks.
Thank you.